Greetings and salutations.
Hey everyone, how is it going? We will give everyone a few minutes for people to join. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our Creativation recap.
Recap. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello everyone popping in. Pop out chat. Pop out chat. All right, guys. How is everyone doing tonight? Hey. How's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good.
Sweet.
So today we are going to recap Creativation. This was our third year going to Creativation.
Yeah, it was.
We have lots to chat about. We will be looking or answering questions you have. So if you guys do have a question, please let me know in all bold. I'm actually monitoring the questions while Sean's at Switcher Studios. Sorry we're a little late. I got preoccupied because I'm creating videos for the new Chocolate Tour release. So a little preview here. Look at this that I made today. So much fun. Oh my goodness, look how fun that turned out. Look at those flowers. Oh,
beautiful.
so I made that today, and I made the strawberry jam today, and I just made a whole bunch of stuff. So that kind of took me my mind off things. So all right, so let's dive right in. Once again, I'll be monitoring questions. I have so much to talk about on our Creativation. So for those of you guys don't know, Creativation is an annual event. It's usually at the beginning of the year. And the last 3 years, it's been at Phoenix. And it's going to be at Phoenix all the way until 2022, they said. At which point, I think it's moving to Houston is what they said.
Yes.
And it's essentially a place for everyone to debut their new product line or to show people off what they have. And this was a very unique experience just because it was back to back with the leadership. So it was at the tail end of us being gone for almost 2 weeks. And it just, we have a lot to talk about, but I think because of social media, it's just a different feel than it was. And I've only been there for 3 years. Some of you might remember it used to be called the Craft Hobby Association, and now it's called Creativation, but it's the Arts. I always mess this up.
ACFI.
Arts,
or
Creative,
AFCI.
or Industry. I don't know. I don't know. It's very, I don't know.
Who knows?
So we're going to talk about some of our favorite things and some of the things that we were not so impressed by, I guess. Yeah. First and most importantly, I will let everyone know this show was a smaller show. So every year we've gone, the show's kind of reduced. And this year they made it seem like it was bigger by kind of spreading everything out. But it still was a reduced floor plan. A lot of people that we'd seen the past couple of years were not there. But because of that, the show was also, there was a lot less people there. So it wasn't so congested and stuff like that. So that was kind of an interesting point. And this was probably, we brought Jessica with us, which was a lot of fun. And I think Sean was getting kind of frustrated because this year I was very talkative. So we would get 2 booths and then I would run into someone I knew and we would talk for like 30 minutes.
30 minutes to an hour. Yeah, it was crazy.
And then I'd go another booth and then
another 30 minutes to an hour.
But we did a lot more videos than we've done in years past. I felt like we didn't do enough videos, but we actually did a lot.
Really?
Yeah, compared to what we did.
Yeah, to me it didn't feel like I did very many at all.
Yes. So, also, is the show open to the public? The show, technically, yes and no. Technically, the show is open to anyone that registers with AFCI, which I have a blog. If you have a blog, you're an influencer. If you work for a company, if you're a retail outlet, you can pay. So we pay $185 a year that we can go to all their shows, but we really only go to Creativation. Yeah. So, but then I can bring as many people as I want and stuff. Right. So yeah.
So you had a couple of people like went under you.
Yes. So before we start anything, I do want to give a huge thank you to Sean. 3 years ago when we went to our first Creativation, Sean would not even speak during a live video. Very rarely. The only thing he did was chew gum and he got yelled at for gum.
Sorry about
that. So this year, because number one, I had lost my voice, and number two, I kept talking with people, there was times Sean took over the entire videoing of it. So there was a lot of booths he just went to because I'd be tied up talking to someone. He goes, hey, some people wanted to see, for example, the art bin booth. I'm going to go shoot that for them. Yep. Some people wanted to go see this. I'm going to go shoot that for them. So huge kudos to him, because not only did he do a lot of that on his own, but he listened to you guys in the comments and saying, okay, this is what people are wanting. And he made sure that those booths we hit.
And I'm sorry for those if I missed any. So
yes, so thank you very much. He did a very, very good job.
Thanks.
And stuff. So with that said, let's jump right in. We might share our screen at a few times, but let's first of all share what was your favorite product. If you had to pick one thing to walk away with the whole collection, what would it be?
I will have to say that the one that we were going, should we not, was the foil quill. It was, when you see what it did and the product, the end results, it was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, the foil quill, I'm on the fence. So it did win Product of the Year. Yep. It was the #1 thing people wanted a video on. Yep. And it was pretty amazing. However, I'm going to be very upfront and honest with you guys. I have some hesitations when it comes to the foil quill. #1 hesitation is they were only demonstrating it on one machine, which was the Silhouette Cameo. So they had all 4 machines out. So they had the Brother Scan and Cut, they had the Cricut Maker, they had the Sizzix Eclipse 2, and the Silhouette Cameo, but they would only demonstrate it on the Silhouette Cameo. And the other thing that I'm a little worried about is they had a magnetic plate that they were demonstrating the foil quill on, which makes sense, because if you have a magnetic plate and you put paper on that, and then the foil on top of that, and then you go into your design, it's giving it a nice, secure surface, and it's holding down that foil.
Was very, very hard.
It was a hard surface.
So if you figure on a mat,
yeah,
it's going to be on the softer
so
side.
At launch, they're not going to have that foil plate. So the solution is you're going to take whatever you're foiling onto, let's say cardstock, you're going to put your foil, and then you're going to washi tape it down. So myself and many other people asked, can you demo it like that? And they refused to demo it like that.
Yeah.
So that had me a little concerned. I'm not saying it's not a good tool. I think it's a very unique tool. I think it's very innovative. You can use any design with it, but that did have me a little like, why won't they show it with just that? Yeah. So definitely, if you get it, keep that in mind. It's $99 for the entire system, and that does not include the extra tips. So the box itself comes with the regular tip. You have to buy additional for the small and bold
There was a fine, standard, and bold.
Yes. And also remember, it is a heat activated foil, and they said that we have not tested any other foils. We've only tested it with our foil, which is the We Are Memory Keepers foil. Yep. So I don't know how good it would work, but it did. I mean, on the metal plate and everything, it did a very good job, and it was the #1 thing people were impressed with. It definitely was not my product of the year. My product of the year, hands down, the one booth that I went with low expectations and walked away was Jane Davenport's booth. If you guys don't know who Jane Davenport is, she kind of made her mark with the mermaid markers. They were, or I guess they weren't markers, they were actual watercolor pens. And we've went to her now 2 years in a row, and this year it's just so innovative because it's paper, but her entire line follows a makeup line. Yeah. So like when you're on YouTube and you watch makeup tutorials, you're watching people, you know, bring out their palettes and their lip gloss and all that. That's exactly what she's modeled her line on. She has literally, they look like makeup palettes. It looks like she has lip gloss. And the great thing is the reason she did that is you're drawing these ladies either with her stencil or stamps, and then you're literally applying makeup to them. And I told her it reminded me a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race, because when they're getting all ready for the big reveal, that's what it felt like, because you're almost going over the top with it. But it was such a cool concept, and she's Australian, so I just love to hear her speak in general, because she has a beautiful voice, and she's just very nice and lovely. And it was one of those booths that I was something that I would never have bought on my own. I've went to Michael's, I've seen her product line, I'm like, it's not for me, but I left the show saying, I want this product line and I want to try it. It's definitely something that
really
no one else had there.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes.
And she even remembered us from last time. She says, oh my God, you guys are back.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
I do sound corrected. Yes, it does come with all 3 tips.
Yeah,
so you can buy them
one.
separately.
For $39.99.
I don't know what the whole set comes with, why you buy separately.
Some people just want one style and just go with that, but
yeah, so on the foil quill, there is individual little hard drives that you can buy that has a whole bunch of images on it. They are branded, so you have like one that has Heidi Swap, and you have one that has specific names, and then there's a holiday one. There's one that just has really cool JPEGs and stuff. So it was very cool. However, and I hate to jump around, but Jade Davenport was my favorite, and we'll talk about that in a second again. But the one thing that I think was overshadowed in the We Are Memory Keepers booth, so the whole focus was on the foil quill. The whole entire focus. Everyone was looking at that. That's where they had all of their workforce. And on the back of the We Are Memory Keepers,
down on the lowest shelf,
is the
tumbler spinner.
The spin. So it is this thing that they've released that is going to put your tumbler on and spin it for you. It's the spin tool. I think that's actually what it's called. Now the reason why it was kind of hidden is they're saying it's not going to come out until October. But this thing is amazing. So many people are making these tumblers and they're making their own version of it, and they've made this perfect, and they also have a whole line of glitters and everything, epoxy, and it was one of the things that I think was overshadowed, but I think that's a way bigger deal than the foil quill, just because so many people...
Our friend Ashley does them almost every night, it seems like, and she made her own machine, and now she can go out and have that one. It'll be very, very cool for all those people who like to do that kind of crafting. It was very cool. And the cool thing is that it actually ran on a USB power bank.
And that was the other thing on the foil quill is a lot of people, of course, had questions on, this is considered a third-party accessory. Is it going to void my warranty? I have reached out to all the companies. They have said yes, that it will void your warranty. Keep in mind, most machines have a 1-year warranty. Once you're outside of that 1-year warranty, sometimes they'll replace the machine, sometimes they won't. However, then I went on to the We Are Memory Keepers website, and they're saying we are so confident in this that if something was to happen to your machine, call us and we'll replace your machine. So it's kind of turned into this, will it void the warranty, will it not? I will be honest with you, if I just spent $400 on a Cricut maker, I probably wouldn't
do it until after your year one is up.
That's just me. But I'm still going to look at it. The spinner thing, though, in that booth, in my opinion, will
very, very
make
cool.
it. They also released a bigger version of the. I will grab it.
Okay.
I have it.
I'll see if there's any questions real quick.
So last year they debuted the Happy Jig.
Oh, the jig.
And this year they re-released a brand new version of this, and it's much bigger. Now what's cool about this is they have neon this year, which I really like. So you can actually bend your neon and it will work. So that was all that was in the We Are Memory Keepers booth. So after that, we went to the Deflecto booth. And Deflecto, I'm always torn because they always debut new items that are not ready to go. So they always say, oh, we think it's going to be 3 months. It might be 6 months. However, 2 of the items I think are game changers. Number 1 is and I don't think they have a photo of it yet. Let me look, but it is called the Paint Saver.
Yeah.
And the Paint Saver is pretty cool. I don't see it.
Might have to go to your video.
Yeah, I might have to bring it up in my video. But essentially what it is, while I bring up my video, Sean can explain what it is.
So you get a tray, it's about yay big, and you've got your separate compartments in each one. You know, it almost looks like there's probably 15 or so little compartments for all your different types of paint. Hence why this would also work for paste, especially if you've got lots of singles. And a little larger tray for maybe some water, plus the
You can share it.
the cover on the other side.
I won't be able to see your comments right now, but essentially, like Sean said, this is what it is. For me, this is a painter's dream, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But for me, doing chalk couture, I mix a lot of my colors, because that's the great thing about chalk couture is you can mix them to make other colors. But you waste it if you can't seal it. And this actually lets you seal this. You have, you know, these bigger compartments. You have all these smaller compartments. It's hard to see, but right here, there's this little bit of purple here. That's the part that seals it.
It's a silicone sealer.
Yeah, and then there's also a little tray here. You can't really see it, but that's where you can hold like
your
brushes and stuff like that.
This is actually removable, so you put all that, put it back on.
Correct.
Boom.
And in my case, you could save your squeegees up there.
Yeah.
So they released that, but then they also released this, and this here is called the Painter's
Companion?
Companion. That's what, Painter's Companion. This was really cool because you have 2 bins up here. You can have clean water and dirty water. You can also have another water here, but then over here you have a really shallow bin that you can store stuff. And then they even thought on the handle here, you can put your paintbrushes, or in my case, I could put my multi-tool, whatever. So I thought this was ingenious too, because I use Tupperware right now, and I always am making a mess, and it's hard because my water gets dirty. So those were the 2 things in their booth. They're also releasing this new medium. Let me see if I can find it, which is this almost mirror. You can paint it, but it's a really thin...
It's an acrylic, right?
Acrylic. And they said that they've tested it with the Cricut Maker and it can cut it just fine. But you can either paint it or leave it like that, and you can see our reflection of our
reflection is.
It's really, really nice. So that was at the Crafter's Companion booth. And I have to say, that was probably one of my favorite things. The Paint Saver is so simple, but it's a huge solution.
Yeah, great solution.
I'll get caught up on questions really quick. I don't think I see anything. Let's see. What is that you just held up, and what does it for? I don't know. You might have to clarify what you're talking about there.
Melanie.
Okay, so the next booth we went to, and actually I'll hold up the catalog. This booth, every once in a while at Creativation, I go to a booth that I've never seen, and I'm pretty surprised. And this person said that they've been there for some time now. What it's called is Foundations Decor. And some of you guys have actually told me that you've used this before. And what they specialize in is really, they have wood elements, but they have MDF elements. So essentially, the back part of it's MDF, which is a cheaper material, but the front is wood. You can paint this, you can chalk on it, you can put cardstock on it. But what I liked about it is they have this kit where it's basically interchangeable. And what I mean by this is they have this welcome sign. Let me get real close for you. And you can buy just one of the welcome sign, but buy elements. So for example, here is, let's show you like right there. There's a pumpkin and this little wood piece. So essentially the welcome sign stays the same, but then those pieces change. And I think I can bring it up here. We can share it again. Foundations, Decor, and yep, there they are. All right, Sean, go ahead and share my desktop here again. I won't see your comments again, I apologize. But Foundations Decor, they're local and they're out of Utah. Here is the welcome sign. And so the sign itself is this, it's a very sturdy piece of metal with this slatted wood, and the welcome is already attached there. You can see it also has this nice thing that you can hang from the wall. But these pieces are what changed. So you have the Hello Winter and you have these little cute mittens. But you can actually go to the site and look at all of these ones that you can interchange. So here's the sign as itself. So you can see it just has a spot for you to put your magnet for your board and a spot for your element piece. And then you just buy the kits. So like, for example, there's a kit, you have the St. Patrick's Day. So literally you can have this in your house and you're just changing out the pieces. So for example, on this welcome check here it is, look how cute that is.
Cheap.
Yep, here you go. You can see here, it's just a really good piece of MDF. It also comes with the magnet already on it. They're all shipped unfinished, so you can decorate it. You can either use cardstock, you can paint it. Like I said, you can do just so many different things. They also have their own elements, which I really thought was great. So this way, if you want to add little buttons or things, they actually have really high quality, and the price is actually really affordable. They also had a welcome, or no, it said home. Let me see if I can find it.
There it is right here.
Right here. So this one, you buy the H-O-M, or no, you buy the H, well, you can buy the whole thing, H-O-M-E, but then you change the, where is it?
The O itself.
You change the O, there it is. So you change the O to being different things. So essentially, you can have a butterfly, you can have a pumpkin, you can have so many different things that takes the place of the O, which I thought was pretty brilliant.
Cool. Yeah.
The last thing that I really liked about this booth was their frames. So these are their shadow boxes. And let me see if I can find their shadow boxes here. I'll just look up shadow box. And it's the same concept. You can buy one shadow box and then the elements to change it out. So the shadow box itself is essentially a magnet board that has all of these different compartments. And then essentially all of these little compartments that you see can be changed out. So here's the basic magnet boards right here, black and white. And then you can buy these kits. So for example, this I Love School comes with all that, and you can change them out for each season. So I thought it was it kind of reminded me of Chalk Couture in the fact that Chalk Couture, you buy an expensive chalkboard and then you change it out for each season, where this is you can decorate with your own style and change those out for everything. So I thought it was a really cool thing I'd never seen before. It definitely piqued my interest. So it was pretty cool. Ooh. Oh, well, thank you for Melody. Thank you for the super chat. And Corey and Annie. That is so sweet on you guys. I'm going to get caught up on questions and then we'll go on to the next booth.
Hi, Shamira.
Arlene says, why does Chalk Couture, why do they not go to the show? And it's actually a perfect question. I actually asked them if I could be a booth there. Essentially, the main reason they don't go is because they're a direct sales business. So if they were to go to the show, their whole intention, no one can buy directly from Chalk Couture. No one can buy wholesale. So they have to buy through a designer, and no one can, they would be in the idea of recruiting people to join. And that's just something they don't allow at that show and stuff. So it makes sense. But they also don't want it to be where then you have people walking the floor and saying, well, I'm a Chalk Couture designer. You should, it would just be a conflict of interest. But really good question. Did you look at the glue sponge? I don't know if we did. Did we?
I don't think we did, no. I'm not even sure who carries that.
So all the extras are metal. So on this kit, all of the extras are actually a piece of MDF. Some of them have wood on the front, but they have a magnet on the back of them. So the metal is what clamps and then it comes off. So everything comes with the magnet.
Yep.
Yeah. Hi, Lori.
Which one?
Lori Moonmaker.
Oh, hi, Lori.
So you guys want to hear a funny story? This is getting off, but the very first night we went to dinner with a whole bunch of people. I don't know. There was a ton of people.
50, 60 people.
Yeah, and I was sitting next to Lori, and if you guys don't know the story, I followed Lori for years, and she was a big silhouette girl, and she had a blog called The Lori Story. And every time I would bring up, Lori Story, she's like, Ken, I'm now Lori Moonmaker. And I was always like, yeah, I know that's your name. Like, I didn't make the connection. And then I realized, her blog is now Lori Moonmaker because of the maker. Like, I'm a maker. I make things. Yep. And in one moment, it all clicked. And I was like, the past year and a half makes so much more sense now. It was one of those moments where I was just like, I totally missed it.
Yeah, that's
and
okay.
But I did notice, Lori, I just want to let you know, I noticed that now on Facebook, the maker is all in bold. Very smart idea.
Very smart.
Very
right?
smart
Good
idea.
marketing. Oh, thanks, Kath.
Yes, thank you. Hey, Lori, did you ever design for Puzzle Makes back in the day? All right. So the next booth that we will chat about that I was going to go back and do a video and I forgot. You guys know Caterpillar. They make a cutting machine. They make they have like a...
They have just a...
Well, it's I'm sorry. They make a cutter and they also make a light pad. But they are debuting something which is a scoring tool, which at first I didn't think was that big of a deal until I actually saw how it's going to work. And how do you describe it? How would be the best way you describe it?
So a lot of people know that usually your scoring thing is with one of those thin, what they call the bone. You know, you take your paper, find out where you want it, and bring it, drag it across. Typically, that will give you kind of a frayed edge or nothing very done smoothly and stuff. Then they came out with another type, one where on his, it's got a small ball end on that, and you can do basically the same thing. It just goes in between the lines, you drag it across, and you get your score line. But again, not perfect. Then they came out with something where it goes in, you can literally move it all the way down to wherever you need to put it, and it's raised up, and then there's literally a square piece of metal right on top of it. The other end of the tool that's got the ball end is grooved inward. So you put your paper, you take it and drag it all the way down, and it gives you the most perfect scored edge without doing any damage to your paper. It was very amazing.
Yes.
And when it's on the board, your light board, you can actually see right through it.
So it was designed kind of to make it where it would go on to their glow pad. But what was cool about it is you literally, me and Jessica put a lot of force on it, and it didn't rip your cardstock. Sometimes when you use the scoring tool, you'll rip through and go right through. The way that they've done this with the groove system is you can push really hard and it doesn't rip. So I was going to go back and I forgot to. I apologize because I thought it was a really cool design. But when they release it, I told him I'd be happy to review it, so he'll send it and I can share it with you guys and stuff.
And it came out with even bigger light pad.
Yep.
Oh, thanks, Karen.
Thank you. Did you test out the new Mod Podge? Do you remember the release date? I think they had said that was in the Plaid booth, and I do believe they said they are shooting for a March-April release date.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
All right, guys. So some other things that I like this year, and I have all the videos in the description. You guys can go take a look at it and everything. This year, I thought it was ingenious. They put all of the stamping companies in one spot. So in years past, it was, you know, you'd have the Ulta New booth, and then the Lawn Fawn was here. And it was kind of hard because you would miss out on some of the smaller companies. This year, they made what was called the Stamping Village. And not only did they have all of the stamp companies, but in the center, they had these big areas where you could sit and just color. So they had like Jennifer McGuire, and they had Christina Warner all there teaching people techniques. So there we saw Gina K's whole design. She has beautiful stuff. She has this really cool wreath maker, which cool. Essentially you're not moving the stamp pad, right? You're moving everything else.
Everything else moves. I didn't get to see it because it wasn't being there, but basically she showed me the finished product, and it gives you literally, you take your stamp and whatever you're doing, and it goes all the way around creating the wreath, and it's supposed to be awesome looking, and it did. It was very awesome looking.
We also went to the Ulta New booth, and I have to say I have not jumped onto that bandwagon just because I'm not a big floral person, but every time I go to their booth, I fall in love with their layered stamp sets and their layered dies.
Gorgeous.
And they really have cornered the market in this area. It's just beautiful. And I don't know if you know this, but on their website, they actually have certification courses where you go through these courses and you actually get certified to where you can teach the classes, which I thought was cool. The other thing I loved about having all the Stamping Village there is I got to see some of the booths that I didn't know. So, for example, Heffy Doodle was one. I've never seen their stamps. Really, really cute stamps, you guys. And I wouldn't have seen that if it wasn't in the Stamping Village. That was one of the videos Sean shot by himself. He did a great job.
I hope I got it.
I think towards the end, it was like a 45-minute video, and everyone was like, he had like almost 400 live viewers when they're doing it. People were giving you super chats left and right. I was like, maybe Sean should do all my videos because that's all he's getting is super chats. But it was really cool to see it. Everyone loves Lawn Fawn, so they had a beautiful display. Tulips was there. They had a really small booth.
Very small booth.
But I tell you what, Tulips, you can use this awesome sayings with art impressions. You know how Art Impressions has the older lady or the older guy series? Well, the tulips go perfect with that. And if you don't know what tulips are, they are just funny stamps. They are just sentiments. They are not a ton of stuff. It's ran by this lady all on her own, but it's so funny because they're just sayings like you have, you know, some of them are more risque than others. After exercising, I always eat a pizza. Just kidding, I don't exercise. So they're all the same size. They're just so funny. And like I said, some are a little bit
risque, a little bit.
Like this one here, a late birthday card is better than a late period. That's so not
oh my!
So they're things that like you wouldn't obviously use them very often, but they are funny.
Very
and there's so many of them. I definitely suggest going to look at them. We did a video on them, I think last year, and people just love the stamps. They're not for everyone. I get that. It's not everyone's humor, but she has some that are literally just happy birthday and stuff. See, Sean will just look through the catalog and laugh the entire time.
Some people should use a glue stick instead of chapstick. Keeps their mouth shut.
I just now got that.
I wish weight was like virginity. Once you lose it,
Cricut Nature, to answer your question, Alt Anew. It is, Sean can share my desktop here really quick.
Got it?
Yep. And it's Alt Anew, and I think I'm saying that right. I used to think it was Alt and New, which I guess it's kind of the same, but they're the ones that have the layered stamps.
Yeah, they are gorgeous, just gorgeous.
They're amazing. They also have layered dies that are absolutely gorgeous. They're a little bit on the spendy side because you do have to buy all of them, but you can see even right here just the beauty. Look at that. That's a stamp set of layered dies. So it might be something I need to look into and look at. So.
Yeah. One of the cool things over at Gina K's is that she's got this new ink that's specially made for doing flowers and stuff, that you stamp the flower and the type of ink you're using is that you'll literally do your coloring right over it, and those lines then all of a sudden disappear. So it's literally just the flower and not the lines that most people like to color in. I was just floored on how cool it was. So
Cricut Nature asks, because you're not using those stamps often, is it something that is affordable? So you can't order directly from like her website, but you can go to, I think she has them on Amazon, but Simon Says Stamps. And they're all the same size, and I think they are really affordable. I don't believe they're, let me look at the cost. Yeah, they're $5.99 retail, which isn't bad, especially since they sometimes have sales. All right, guys, so the next thing, Alta New is the pronunciation. Thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, so the next booth I fell in love with, you guys. So probably 3 to 4 weeks ago, I was at my local Joann's, and Sean was doing something in the store, and I was like, come here, Sean, come here. And I saw this end cap with no product. And Sean's like, what? And I was like, look it. And he was like, there was nothing there except for a couple things. And I was like, no, you have to look at the photos, because they had photos. And it was Fiskars was releasing this whole DIY tool sets.
Yep.
Because if many of you might know, which is I think why Lori is onto such a brilliant idea for her branding, our nation is turning into a DIY maker revolution. It's all about the maker. You know, makers are going to make everything for their house. So instead of just being a crafter or a painter, they've kind of lumped it all. Instead of crafting, it's DIY making. And so Fiskars jumped on this, and they're releasing these really amazing tools that are extra powerful, so they can be used on wood, they can be used on leather, thicker materials. And we literally went into their booth, and I was like, we want to test it all. And she's like, oh, we're only testing certain things, because they didn't want people hurting themselves, because they are very sharp, or they were, they didn't have basically the insurance requirements. To which we said, what if we just take it and do it, and you can't stop us? So we flirted with them as much as we could.
We did.
And she let us do it.
Yep.
These tools were amazing. So they had a few of them, and I'll bring them up here. Let me share my screen with you guys. So right now they're only on Fiskars' website. They will be coming to Amazon, and all of the Joann's should be getting them. The problem with the Joann's, and they were very honest with this, is they said as soon as it hits Joann's, people are buying them. So they can't keep them in stock. So if we go to the Fiskars' website, you can actually take a look at all of the DIY.
Those scissors were to die for. Man, they cut like butter.
They do cut like butter. So essentially, they said that they will be adding more onto there, but you'll see where they have a crafting and sewing, and then there is DIY precision tools, and that's where you want to go. Some of the standouts for me, obviously doing chalk couture. Sometimes I want to move the hanger on my boards or things like that. They have a really amazing, it's basically a hand drill, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hand drill.
And here's the deal is I thought, here it is right here, precision hand drill. I thought this was going to take a ton of power to operate this. So I had Jessica do it.
Yep.
And I said, Jessica, try to break this. And I don't know how it works. Not only did we go through the wood, we actually damaged their table.
Yep. Well, the pad that was on there.
We felt horrible and stuff. So literally, it's just a little crank, and it goes through wood, leather, so much stuff. They had a saw that was absolutely. You do not have to push it.
It's like a dovetail, what they call a dovetail style saw, and the way they have their blades is super sharp. You don't have to put any kind of weight or anything to it, and I mean, it's mostly there. It is right there, I think.
Yep, there it is. Precision hand saw.
That thing was dynamite.
This right
I was really
here.
surprised.
This was the one that we had to steal from them because they wouldn't let us use it.
Nope.
Because of insurance, and it didn't get caught, which I really liked. Has that sheath on it to keep it protected, but so many saws, when you push forward and you come back, it gets caught and you're kind of stuck. What I really liked about this one is when they said do not overexert it. Literally, they said just very lightly, and they were right. If you go too fast with it or too hard, it would get caught. But if you gently pushed it, it was like butter gliding back and forth.
Back and forth. Every time you go forward, it cut. Every time you pull back, it cuts.
Yeah.
So you're not wasting.
Sorry, I'm gonna get this up a little bit because our heads are.
You're not wasting any of your power back or forth.
And the other thing I liked about it was, I'll be honest, sometimes Fiskars is hit and miss. Sometimes I get some of their stuff and it's amazing. Sometimes it would dull or not be as great. We played with every single tool that they had there. Yep. Something as simple as they have a thing that actually holds the nail while you hammer it. Yeah,
very cool.
Which is such a small thing. Let me see if I can find it here.
I'm sure they have that.
It's such a small thing, but it was huge because it held the nail, so you didn't have to hold it with your one hand, and it could. I'll look it up this way. I thought it was huge. So for me, this booth was very cool because they really know their clientele, and they didn't. So many times, and I know that I'm not the norm. There's obviously the crafting DIYs predominantly female, but there is guys out there, and they made a conscious effort not to make this pink or to make it girly. They just went with their colors, which I really appreciated. So this is the precision nail starter, which something so simple, but you have the 3 different things for different size nails. You put it there. It actually super light, so it can stick on the wall and everything. You start it, remove it, and finish the hammering.
Yep. Very cool.
Very cool. I thought it was ingenious.
They even have this really cool, somebody was talking about their husband is left-handed, and it's very hard to find scissors that are for left-handers. So they have one where it's not your typical style of scissors. Basically, it's something you just use your thumb to push up and down, and that's how it literally cuts. And it was very ingenious as well.
And it does work on cork. They had cork there. They were demonstrating with that. And to Misfit's point, they have had certain pieces of these elements in their craft line before. And they had found out that they were such a big seller that they decided to develop the entire line. So some of these things might not be super new, but they are, the entire line is new. So they guaranteed that it was definitely Joann's. Hobby Lobby is going to be carrying it, Amazon, and then their site. So I really liked it. Okay, so let's move on. I'm still looking at your questions, guys. So when we were kind of looking at some of the other booths, we saw a lot of the same things over and over again. One of our favorite booths, we probably did a video once again 2 years ago, was the diamond dots. And the funny thing about the diamond dots, there was 2 overall themes at Creativation that you kept seeing over and over again. One was pouring. Everyone is doing pouring. Every booth or something had a way to pour. And if you guys don't know what pouring is, that's where you pour the color with the mixture, and then it does this beautiful pouring look. So that was in everyone's booth. Everyone has their own pouring now. But the other thing was diamond dots lookalikes. And it was kind of interesting. And I went to the diamond dots booth and I said, hey, you know that you are a trendsetter when everyone is trying to copy you. There were so many people that had diamond art or diamond this. But when you're there at the show, it's night and day.
Totally different.
Diamond dots, I know it's a little bit more expensive, but it's
so worth it.
Yeah. So let me share my screen because the big thing on diamond dots this year, because obviously,
there it is.
Here's the thing: is you guys really can't. On photos, you can't see how amazing this is and all of the jewels in it.
This gives you no idea of what it truly looks like.
Correct. The big thing on this is and I don't see it on here yet, but they've added Disney. But stuff like this, like imagine all of these guys having, like all these darker colors are diamonds. They're these beautiful the light hits it and it's absolutely gorgeous.
That tiger is awesome.
Yeah. So here's the deal: is it's so hard. This one we fell in love with. In fact, Sean finished on this one. I know that the price can be a little bit more expensive because of the quality, but it's so worth it to see. This is gorgeous. This would look amazing in my living room. So we need it.
Do we have a video?
Yeah. Let me come back on us really quick, and then I'll look for that video.
So I did if you go to the end of it, just before we ended, I would go across.
I gotcha.
And you can kind of see the way it does that. So it's very, very cool.
And what kind of Disney ones? You talk to them while I bring this up.
If you guys did see the video, whether it was live or repeat, towards the end they had BELLE and...
Oh, the princess ones are amazing.
This is the one in blue.
They had Cinderella.
Cinderella. Yeah. So gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Then they have a lot of Mickey and Minnie stuff here and there. Some were their actual faces, some were just little black silhouettes. They had a few other things that were in there. Donald Duck was in there. I think Goofy's in there. If you walk around, you'll see there's the Mickey there. Here, let me...
Yeah, go and you can share.
There we go.
So here is, once again, I won't see your questions, but you can see here, this is the one Sean really wants. Here's BELLE. You can kind of see where the diamonds are a little bit. I don't know where you try to...
Yeah, it's just let it go.
Right there?
I do all the way across, go this way.
It's so hard in person. It's so much more dramatic than it is here. But I'm telling you what, everyone either had pouring. Oh, you can see it there. It kind of sparkles.
See it sparkling?
Yeah.
As you're moving? So
you can see parts of those little diamonds that really stood out. And there's a ton of them. And that's, I think, one of the bigger sizes they have there. And they just had, like, these guys down here were just sparkling. It just catches your eye. And no one does it better than them. They by far...
They have the best product.
The best product and stuff. So
that black horse, oh my God, it was gorgeous.
Yeah, that black horse is pretty sweet. All right, before we go on, let me go ahead and let's see here. Any questions? Okay, I don't see any here.
Is diamond dots hard to do? It depends on how good your eyesight is and how steady, I guess, you are with your hands.
I think the thing I would compare it the most to is essentially it's like a puzzle. So, I mean, you're putting together something. They're really small. They do give you a little stylus to pick them up, but it's not something you're going to sit down on these bigger ones and do in a full sitting. It's something you'll do a little bit, come back. Like for me, I could only probably do 15 minutes at the most because me constantly looking down would kill my neck because I have neck issues. So there would be...
Yeah. And the nice thing is that they have this special little tray that actually makes the gems go the right side up. So when you grab them, you're always grabbing the top.
Yeah.
So, and they're all color coded. So it's almost like color by numbers in a way as well.
Yep. Okay, so one of my other pleasant surprises that I thought was pretty ingenious was ThermoWeb. So ThermoWeb, you guys all know them obviously as foil. So you lay down foil and you get beautiful looks when you use it with adhesive. This year they've introduced this flocking, and the flock was so amazing. I can bring up my video to kind of show you here really quick. Do you want to go back to us while I look for the video? And Sean can kind of explain what the flocking is.
So we all know, for all of us who are old enough to remember flock, how cool it kind of was, but you know, what can you do with it truly? Now with all our cutting machines, dyes, and everything like that, brings flocking to a whole new way of using it, especially when you even use it with, they have foam, sticky foam that you can use a die or cut it with a machine or whatever
Yeah.
you want to do.
You can go to us.
Lay it on the
So
flock.
you guys know, well, and sorry to interrupt,
Yeah,
but
you're fine.
so flocking used to come in little tiny jars, and they come in little tiny jars. You would put down your glue adhesive, you'd put the flock on, and pray to the flocking god it sticks and
That was
doesn't
one
come
way.
off.
Yep.
And so I never used it because it was clumpy, it was messy, and it kind of disappeared in a lot of crafts. Well, look at this. So essentially what this is they've taken a a piece of their foam. It's a double-sided foam. You have a layer of adhesive foam and then a layer of adhesive. So you're gonna see them actually weed this off. So I'll kind of skip here. So they've weeded off the foil here, or excuse me, the adhesive. And then you put the flocking sheet down. So the flocking, whatever one you're using, like this is yellow, you put it onto the double-sided adhesive. Then the key is you do have to run it through some sort of machine. So your Big Shot, your Cuttlebug, an electronic machine, because it needs that pressure on that flocking to stick. Because if you don't have pressure, they even said you can't just use your fingers to push it down.
No.
You really need it to go through a machine. Then you just slowly lift it up and look at this. So it's essentially, think of it the same way as foiling. Like you would put it through a laminator and the foil would stick. Instead of this, it's this flocking material. And it was a perfect, even flock every single time.
And you've got the positive and the negative that can be used too.
Yep. So
and thank you, Julia, for showing us that. It was awesome.
So the flocking was already amazing. I'm a huge fan of thermal web, and I think that's so cool. But then I went next door. So as many of you guys know, Gina K has a co-branding line with thermal web. And she, one year, released, obviously, her foil system, which had the foil mates and stuff. The next year, she released the stamp, so you could stamp and foil. So this year, I was like, well, what is she going to do? And this year, she released stencils and her glitter. I always mess this up. It's called Gina's...
Oh, my goodness, I forgot.
Glitter Glaze?
Is it Glaze? Let's see.
It's Glaze. It's a glitter...
Did we see it on this?
Yeah, it's on this video. Glitter something glaze. So let me bring it up here. Let me show you this. Okay, Sean will bring it up to our computer here, and then we'll answer questions again. So essentially, it's the same, kind of think of it as normally like when you would stamp and all that good jazz. So she has this, and look at this when she opens it, you guys. This is beautiful glitter.
The way they made this is perfect. You could not get any more perfect than this stuff.
Yeah, look at that glitter in there. It is so, look at all that glitter. Beautiful. Yeah. So essentially she's released stencils to go with her stamp. So instead of doing, let's say, like the last time you would run it through and then you would put your foil on top of it so you could stamp and foil. This now adds a little bit of glitter onto it. So let me get to the point where she's... So she went ahead and now there's the stamp. She's already put a stamp on it, and now she's using her stencil, and she's going to put a nice even coat of that glitter glaze on there. And it doesn't take a lot. In fact, it reminds me a lot of Chalk Couture. It's not going through a silk screen, but it's the same kind of thing. You're just using a small amount to go through that. But look at the results. Because it's so much glitter in this stuff, it is beautiful. Look at that.
Gorgeous.
It's a gorgeous, and I think she says it takes about 15 minutes to dry in the air.
Dry it, yeah.
And they said 5 minutes for if you're using a heat tool. But look at all these colors, you guys. Look how beautiful it is. Oh, let me go back. And they have a black one, and you never see black glitter.
No, you don't.
And she has a black glitters. Okay, it's Glitz Glitter Glaze. Gina's Glitz Glitter Gel.
There we go. There we go.
So look at that. You have this beautiful pink, black, purple, green, gold, orange, red, and that teal blue.
And there's a black somewhere in there.
And then I think we have, I mean, you can just see some of these that just, look at that. It's just gorgeous. And she, you can use it with hers. She also uses this. This is the actual flocking material. So she used the flock material. So it's really ingenious of her. I was trying to see what cards she had. I think we missed out on the cards, but oh, there it is right there. Look at that card. That's all glitter glaze. So it's absolutely gorgeous.
Beautiful stuff.
All right, so let me get caught up on your questions real quick, and Sean can do the dot. So back to diamond dots. Do the dots stay on well? They actually do, and they had the round dots, not the square. So those are, and basically it's paint by numbers. You just put the different things. But what it is it's basically as a protective sheet that has the adhesive. So what I would do is work on one corner and just keep that down when you're not using it. But it works really well.
Once it's on, it's on. From what they're saying, they never have any problems with it. Their canvases are much better than the other companies. The guy was saying, I don't like to knick-knack or pick on other ones, but they went through a whole list on why their stuff is so much better than the others.
Yeah. So someone says, how different is the glitter glaze from Tonic's Glimmer Paste? For me, her glitter is a little bit, I think there's more glitter, number one, more concentration of glitter, and it's a little bit more pizzazz to the glitter. It's a little bit more, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but the glitter just is more of a statement.
It's a brilliance.
It's a brilliance.
Look at this.
Really,
look at that
really,
card
really
at the end there.
Glitter. Yeah, I mean the glitter is just awesome. Those colors seem amazing. Thermal Web Purple Spray. Yeah, let me grab that for you. I actually have
Thermal Purple Spray isn't the actual name of it though. It's
I know. So it's so funny when we went to the booth. I said everyone. So we did the Thermal Web booth, and everyone kept saying, can you go look at the purple spray? And I was like, what are they talking about? There is no purple spray. I'm literally thinking in my head, like, we're going to spray purple, and it's going to turn into tape. And I was like, why would they do that? So we went back, and she says, oh, Ken, let me show you, because we were so excited about everything else. Number one thing that they showed me is, so this is, as you guys know, this is my purple tape. I love it. But they re-released it in a smaller size. So here you can see the size difference.
White washi tape size.
Yep. But then she says, have you checked out our Pixie spray? And I was like, well, I want to see the purple spray. And she's like, it's this.
It's this.
She was like, we should have called it purple spray.
Yeah.
But essentially what this is you spray this and it reactivates a tack onto either your stencils or whatever you're using. So they used it in the fact of, they took a stencil with no adhesive on it. He sprayed...
he did two coats.
Two coats, maybe and 3. He said that 2 coats of this would last how many applications?
About
6?
3 to 4, depending on what you're using. But you can put more coats on it if you want it for a longer and more usage.
So essentially, he says we took the adhesive that we use on this, reduced it a little bit because they didn't want it super sticky, and put it in a spray formula. So I said, could you reactivate mats with this? And they said, we have tried this on all of the mats, so think Silhouette, Cricut stuff. I have not tried that yet, so I can't endorse that. But essentially, it puts this nice adhesive that eventually comes off. It's got a little bit of a tack to it.
And the thing he said is that, let's say you're putting it on your stencil, it only stays on the stencil. It is not going to be transferred to paper or anything. It stays only on what you spray it on.
Yep.
It does not.
If you want to get it off, he says just use water and soap, and it comes right off. So it was something that I think was kind of overshadowed, but it was really cool.
Really cool stuff.
And the only thing though is that someone asked me during our live, well, couldn't you put this then on your silk screens with Chalk Couture? And you wouldn't be able to do that because it would clog those. Yeah. So anything that has like a silk screen or a mesh netting, I would be very careful on that. But I love this.
Yeah, don't use it on that.
Don't use it on...
Maybe on a small corner that you needed to get a little more stuff, but yeah, I wouldn't put it on anything.
So the other thing that was nice that we finally were able to do is show off our con stand. We get people asking all the time, what do you use to do your live videos? And it is this guy here. This is... it's a funny story, and I'll tell you as Sean shows this off, but... Last year, Sean and I got separated a lot at Creativation. He would go one way, I'd go another way. And he texted me, this was last year, OMG, you need to come look at this. And I already knew what he was talking about because I had just left that booth and I was like, oh, Sean's going to love this. And he goes, I can't even believe it. So he talked to the guy in the booth for like an hour. His name's Aaron. And I got up and I've never seen Sean more excited about something in my entire life. So up to this point, we'd been using clamps or rulers or all these different things to hold our phone. And Sean, of course, wanted something nice because we were using an iPad stand and all this, and we found the Archon booth. And essentially what he did is
Did you accidentally summon me?
No, sorry.
He could see this big trend in live streaming, and there wasn't a good solution. So they released this that has, you can either get the base, which is this, or you can get
what we're using right now.
What we know. He also gave me a tip this year, which I'm going to share with you. But essentially, this here is where your phone goes. You can extend it. This is, we've taken one away, but there's usually 3 here. It also has a place for you to hold your iPad. So essentially, here's the thing. But, so Sean, of course, was in love with it. We bought one last year, and then we have been using it ever since. It was a game changer for us. The one problem I had, which he finally told me the problem, is if you get the desk style like this, depending on what phone you have, it would weigh it down. You couldn't have it far out. And he solved it for me. Most people, when they set up, they do it this way.
Square it off.
They square it off. He said, start doing it, move your mount to make the diamond. And he says, if you do that, it won't fall over. It's giving it enough stability. And sure enough, it worked. And I was like, oh my gosh, something so simple. So I know a ton of you guys are doing live videos. As we in culture are getting more and more used to live, we're doing live videos on Facebook, YouTube. It's just the direction our society is taking. This is the perfect setup. You have your iPad to run Switcher Studios down here. You have your phone right here to where, and normally there would be an extra thing in here. But, oh, what is that?
Oh, you did something bad.
Oh, you did something bad.
And this can go all the way up. This, I think it's 29 inches tall, all the way up to the most farthest point. So if you can bring it down to look at, to really, if you don't want to zoom in, I need one of those. Or you can bring it way up so you can get a much wider view of your desktop or something like that. So yeah, very, very cool.
So this was something else. I will say, you guys, there is an extension. I got this question, I already clarified. There is a piece that will hold cameras, so DSLR cameras, all of that he makes. The one thing I get people to say all the time, well, it's expensive, and it is. It's the entry price is $99.95. You can use my coupon code Ken's Creations. It gets you 20% off, so it brings it down to about $79. But I'm telling you what, it is for professional videos. It is the way to go.
Yep.
And almost everyone I know in the business is starting to use it more and more.
Yeah,
I think everyone has it. So.
And you can, if you're a person that, I mean, you, like you said, you can do this. So like we're using it instead of down, we have it up with this shot here. So it's holding our camera, so we can do this kind of a shot instead of overhang. We can do that as well.
Yeah. So it was a really cool time to be able to see that. All right. So where was I disappointed? I'm going to be honest. There was a couple times I was disappointed, and we'll take questions at the end of some of the things, because I'm sure we didn't capture it all. I was really disappointed in the Brother booth. I love Brother, as you guys know. The way that they had the Brother booth set up is they had one section for the scan and cut. They had a demoing of the scan and cut. And then they had kind of these two new, they made labels kind of printers and stuff. So one was a cube, one was bigger, and it used an app, but they weren't really demoing it. The booth itself, and I don't know if it was just because when we did the filming, it was the last day, they just were not very interactive and play around with it.
They were not attentive like they were last year.
Yeah,
when the touch came out.
Yeah, so I was a little disappointed in that, just because a lot of people were asking about, it reminded me of the Zinc printer. You guys remember the Zinc printer where it would print like almost labels? It looked really cool, but trying to get a price point or anything from them, they just were not. Good.
Their cube is really cool. It works off of Bluetooth. It's an inch wide label. So and they have the different colors, the gold, the black on gold, and so on and so forth. So that was kind of cool. Of course, they never showed it. They just showed you what it could do. I think that was 59 or 69. I think somewhere there.
So, yeah.
I would have to go back to the video, but yeah, I was definitely say it was disappointing.
Yeah. So I see a question that says, I love Switcher Studios, but I don't like how I cannot see the chat unless I upgrade to premium. A lot of people get around that by just bringing up their live on a different device.
Yeah.
So my friend Jessica, she doesn't pay for premium, but she has her iPhone, and then she has a separate iPad with the comments, and you'll see her with the other piece of phone down there or whatever. So and that's how she reads the comments.
She's doing 2 iPads.
And that's how we do it too for our Facebook comments. They fibbed to you too when you asked about trouble with the mat. Yeah, they are avoiding the mat question like no other.
Oh, yeah.
I kept asking them, I said, I love your guys' machine and you guys had the opportunity to fix the mat. Are you ever going to fix it? And they were like, they didn't answer it. But maybe that's where I can use this.
Oh, there you go.
I'll try it because their mats are not good.
Not good at all.
And you know, it kind of breaks my heart because the one girl was very attentive. She actually met me in the making event. And she, you know, I had a problem with the blade and they answered the questions. But when Sean went back, I wasn't with him and they completely ignored Sean. Like he did not exist. And that was kind of unfortunate because it was in a way of, you know, they don't know who he is and what he could have a channel or be a retailer. And that was a little discouraging. And sadly, it's the one thing everyone's picking up in that video. Every comment is, oh, it's such a shame. They should have been more attentive and stuff. So hopefully it was just that one day. Maybe they were having a bad day. I don't know. But it definitely would have been nice, a little bit more interaction. Because I don't know anything about those machines because they didn't really...
They weren't literally doing any kind of demonstrations.
And it sounds like they had booths. So they kept on saying, oh, the girl that normally runs this section isn't here or is gone. So I can't really answer any questions for you. So that was a little discouraging and stuff. So,
I will, Renee.
Yeah. So anyways, that was a little... Yes, I know everyone keeps asking for a live on how to do that.
I will do that.
So the last thing I want to talk about, and then we'll answer any questions, is Teresa Collins' booth. So the first time we went to Creativation, I met Teresa Collins. She was demonstrating in the Xyron booth. If there's one thing you guys know about me, I like to joke around a lot. So when people are doing demos, I like to make people laugh or just interactive. And if you go back to that video, I was playing kind of... I don't want to say coy with her, but I was kind of teasing her and being like, oh my gosh, how do you make tassels and stuff? And I just had a ball with her. And she left and when I was leaving, she was like, oh my gosh, I just love you. You and I are going to have to connect at some point, which you hear that all the time and you never do. That night, she went on Facebook, said, what's your cell number? And started texting me and hasn't stopped since. Nope. And when she told me about 6 months ago about her line, at first I was like, I don't get it. She says, I want to do planners and notebooks and boards with these beautiful... In fact, I have one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was kind of funny. You know how on Facebook you can only have so many friends? She actually dropped one.
I'm fine, don't worry.
Just so they can get him on there. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah.
So she has these like beautiful whiteboards with these gold frames. And I remember being like, I don't get it, Sean. I'll just go buy a whiteboard frame. Well, I was there with Jessica. And Jessica looked at these boards and goes... About time. Oh my gosh, thank you. And I was like, what? She was like, do you know how hard it is to find a whiteboard that has a nice frame that you want to put in like your studio or your office or something? Yeah. You don't want a boring whiteboard. So she released these whiteboards. But the part that I fell in love with was her booth was very motivational, and the fact of everything was very much so, you know, about a girl boss and you can run the world and you don't need a guy and we can do this. It
was wonderful.
She had shirts, which I loved because she made sure that the shirt sizes were nice and bold. So it was like almost saying like, be proud of your size. Don't be discouraged. She had beautiful paper. Her paper is all hand drawn, absolutely high quality, beautiful jewelry and stuff. So I actually went thinking like, I don't get it. And I left with Jessica there with this different perception. Like in the planner, her to-do list has like 30 different places to write to-do lists. And Jessica was like, oh my gosh, you're the first person to give me more than 3 spots of a to-do list. And I was like, is that a bit? I'm not a planner person. Jessica's like, that's huge. They were all very plain because her idea was, I'm going to give you what you need to do the planner, but you can decorate it as you see fit. You add the color. You want to put your vibe in there. So she doesn't even put the months. It's all you, which I love.
Free and open.
Yeah.
It was she came up with some great ways of doing your planners and everything. It was great. I don't know there's another word I can think of, but I can't.
Yeah. So anyways, it was an amazing booth. And I have to say, Teresa is just so... She is, first of all, so funny.
Yes, she is.
Very down to earth, very she's had a hard life. I mean, I've gotten to know her well about, you know, she lost her husband and just, she's gone through a lot, and it really shows in this booth and how passionate she is and stuff. I think this is the first product release she's done on her own. She's always done stuff through Xyron or Cricut or Silhouette. So this is her first thing, which I loved. I thought it was a great, beautiful booth.
And her husband, Brian, is wonderful.
He is awesome.
He's a lot of fun.
So that is our first impressions. I'm seeing if there's anything else we missed out on. There was the first booth we went to was the plaid booth, and there was actually, and I don't know if I have the photos. You might have them.
No, they're actually in your. Well,
you should have them then. But Sean can explain what they were. They were.
They're the ones that we did the first one that we did on those shapes when we did the cut. For those of you who saw that video or the live when we did the shimmer paint colors, they have those really cool. Now they have this dragonfly paint that is very, very, very cool looking. There should be actual pictures of the stuff, right?
Oh, yeah, but let me show them that. So this is the dragonfly paint.
Yeah.
It's hard to see, but it's really, really, really kind of, think very high-end kind of glitter. And that's the, well, this is the glitterific. They have glitterific.
If you remember that thing that we did. Now we know how to do it.
We know how to do it. I don't know where the photos are of the...
They should be of the, like, right there.
Oh, here we are. Found them.
Right there.
Yeah. So this is, it's hard to explain what this stuff does, but you can see, it's hard to tell in this photo, but it's like a bluish purple.
You see the blue, purple, greens, and all that stuff, and as you move around it with the different lights, it literally just changes as you do it.
Yeah.
It is very cool paint.
It's very cool. They also have new color shimmer shifts. They call them color shift. And these are the ones that as you turn, the color changes on it and stuff. And then they also have a really cool glass etching and white glass. So that was really cool. The other booth that was kind of cool that I was, once again, it's a Makers, is the Krylon booth. The Krylon booth had some really cool spray paints.
Oh, they do. Absolutely.
Yeah, they had a really cool, brilliant metallic.
Yeah, the brilliant metallics.
Which I have a photo, yeah.
Is that one? Is that it there?
There it is, yep. Oh, no, that's their Folk Arts gold, which was kind of cool. Here it is.
They have...
Here, let me turn my volume down. So they have this, which is their brilliant metallic, and it is, oops.
I didn't play.
Oh, it's because I didn't take a lot in video, but it's this really cool metallic paint.
That black is actually stainless steel black. You know,
and they have that hammerhead gold. Oh. They had this, which was their shimmer.
These are beautiful too.
Yeah, it's hard to tell in the video, but it's a spray paint that's got this beautiful shimmer look to it. Yep. And then they had the wood grain, the vintage finish. It's got kind of a wood grain look to it, which was really cool. We didn't do a booth or a video in that booth because there really wasn't too much. Oh, they had this too, which was the stained glass paint. It looks like those are just a whole bunch of glasses already done. That's actually spray paint to turn it, all those colors. So the Krylon was pretty cool. I really liked it. Where was Emerald Creek, where the embossing people? We didn't do a video in their booth. We did stop by. Rita has a new line with her. I don't know if you guys follow Rita, but she, if you look her up on Facebook, I always mispronounce her last name, so I'm sorry if I mispronounce it, but it's Rita Burke. I'm going to mispronounce it. You don't know how to say it, do you?
Where is it? Let me show you it and I'll tell you.
Let me go grab her, because I have her embossing powders.
Here's that shimmering, the dragonfly.
So she released these. So here you go. And so it's fairy dust, and so they were demonstrating that. And then all their other stuff that they had in her booth. And so that's what they were demonstrating. I didn't do a video there just because I already have a video on this and we were limited on time because I was taking a lot of meetings too to meet with companies about some other stuff. So we didn't, I'm going to mispronounce this, so I'm not even going to try, but.
If you show me, I'll tell you.
Now that you're back, how long is your shopping list? It was funny. I have to say, like, being a paper crafter, I was a little disappointed. There wasn't a lot of things that were innovative. You know, was it 2 years ago or no, it was 3 years ago. That was when we saw the motion stamps and the stamps came to life, and I was like, wow, that's so cool. We saw diamond dots there. You know, I always leave thinking, wow, this show I left just a little underwhelmed. And it definitely wasn't just us. We kept asking people, like, does the show feel different? They weren't doing giveaways. They weren't doing any big announcements.
Not a lot of make and takes either.
Not a lot of make and takes. So it just had a different feel to it. It definitely was less people.
Oh, yeah.
And it just felt a little different. I guess that's the only way to sum it up. My shopping list, definitely, I need all the Fiskars tools. I love my Deflecto. I love this foundation. The foundation decor was awesome. Who made the, I'm sorry, I see a question. Who made the dragonfly paint? That was in the plaid. So it's a plaid paint. They also have folk art as part of their brand and stuff. So, and they said that was going to be on the market. I think they were shooting for another 2 months out.
Was it March, April?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there?
It is interesting because every time you go to this, and, you know, once can ask any questions you guys have. Hey, Tanner, how's it going?
Hey, Tanner.
I missed you at Creativation. So every single time I go to a Creativation, it always floors me because you have all these people showing this new product and they're like, oh, it's not going to release until July or stuck. And you're always like,
what?
Why? But I get it. This is the one show that they can show it on. So I do get that. But that can be frustrating because you're like, when's it going to come out? And they kind of lose that momentum. So the other thing about this show is it just felt a little underwhelming, I guess, is the best way to describe it. It just didn't feel like there was something that was like, wow, or...
And one of our friends, Lisa, was telling us back in the day how wild and crazy it used to be where big names used to come through here.
Michael's pulled out of this show because Michael's is usually always a huge supporter, and they have like this night that everyone gets together and you can make stuff. They didn't have that. It was called a street party, I think. It just was a very toned down show, and it was kind of unfortunate just because I love Creativation. I go to see people, but a lot of the people that I normally see, like Midge and Madge wasn't there, Tanner wasn't there, a lot of people were not there. And I think part of it, I'll be honest with you, is the society we live in. Today, with Facebook Live and YouTube Live, people can literally release a product today and show it to the world tomorrow on a Facebook. It used to be that you did not see any previews till you went to Creativation. Now, you know, for example, Tim Holtz, he does leading up to Creativation, release day 1, release day 2, release day 3, and you see everything. So when you get to Creativation, there's no sense of surprise, or there's no sense of debut or anything like that. It just was a different feeling show, and I think because of that, as a creator, it's hard for me because we don't get to get all excited and say, oh my gosh, look at this, and check out the video. It just felt a little different this year. A lot of the, like Sean said, a lot of names were not there. Silhouette usually has a booth. They were not there. Michaels was not there. There just wasn't a lot of people also demonstrating product. Normally there is people demonstrating their product or do a make and take, and there wasn't that much of that either. And stuff.
So Let's see talking here. About glue. Where's that stuff that we got?
Oh, I'll go grab it.
There's one, these people say it is...
It's down here.
It's almost like super glue, but it's like really, really, really good.
So it is called Rapid Fuse. So they were demonstrating this. In fact, they had one of the best make and takes. You got to take little Scrabble letters and make on a little piece of wood a whole bunch of your names in Scrabble. It was really cool. But I basically said to him, I need something that is super strong and sets up quick. This takes 30 seconds, and I forget how much weight they said it could hold.
There was another one that we got too from
that
either
one.
Beacon or
that's this one.
That's Beacon's.
Quick Grip. So this is Beacon's Quick Grip.
Hold on. What's this other one? Is this the other one? Yeah, that's that other. That's the other big.
Well, this multi-use glue. So those would be this. This one I have to say I was really impressed with though. And let's see here. foiling pen, when is it coming out? I think they said they are shooting for a March release. The foil quill, I think March.
March, yeah. Everything seems to be in March, but
yeah.
we'll wait and see.
Did you go to the Rangers booth? We did go to the Rangers booth, so it was kind of interesting this year. They had the Rangers booth. Tim Holtz mostly stayed in the Sizzix booth. The Rangers booth was in the middle. Some things about the Rangers booth. Number one, Diane Reevely, who was supposed to be there, her daughter. She was there, but then had to leave because her daughter went into labor. So she had to fly back home. So that's why she wasn't.
And then it was a false labor.
Yeah, then it was a false labor. But Simon, of course, was there. Yep. Simon Hurley is releasing his own line. Yep. He has new inks, a couple stencils, and then a stamp line. So he was demonstrating it. There wasn't anything in that booth, too, that was just like, wow. Yeah. Oh, there was something that I didn't see that Sean saw. You have to explain it. And I forget the name of the lady who's releasing it, but it was that mat that you liked. That Simon was using this mat. Let me pull it up and you can explain it.
So just a typical mat, with your grids and everything is about yay big and stuff, and these big, giant magnets that are very easy to pick up and use, and whatever you're working on, it works so well. It when you're just crafting on your stuff, trying to cut or trying to do whatever you want, boom, boom, boom. I think it comes with 4 of the. 1, 2, 3, 4 magnets. So yeah, very, very cool mat. Yeah, I do not remember the name. There, that's it there.
So it's right here. So we'll pull it up on the computer, but it's this blue mat right here. It has these huge magnets. And it was great because the magnets hold whatever you're working in place. But everyone was talking about it. Like everyone loved it because you can use it for so many different things. Look at those magnets.
And these are the kind that will not sit there and crash together and break like the ones that you find on the mist. What do you call it? The Misty.
The Misty, yeah.
The Misty, or even the ones with the other ones. They won't. They're still strong, but they will not hit there and do that. So that's what was another really cool thing.
Yeah, and so that was something that a lot of people were talking about was
that mat.
And stuff. It was one of the
highlights that
a lot of people
and I was very surprised how quiet that dryer is. I mean, you can't even hear it when it comes on.
Tool, the ranging heat emboss tool.
Yeah, it's really
so cool. That was another thing I didn't get to see, but a lot of people talked about it. Let's see here. Will you ever go to the Europe craft shows? That's a great question. So we are actually thinking about next year. So right after Creativation, almost everyone in the industry goes from Creativation and they head over to Germany. There is a huge craft show in Germany. I forget the name of it, but everyone literally, as soon as they're done with Creativation, they pack up and go to that one. And I think they said it's 5 stories, 5 levels.
4 or 5 levels.
And there's a whole level of just Christmas. So we want to go there. I think we're going to try next year. It's just hard because if, with Chalk Couture, it's Chalk Couture Leadership, Creativation, and that. So we would literally be gone for almost 4 weeks.
Yeah. It's crazy, but
so Sean definitely has to not be at work at that time.
I cannot be working
then. So I definitely we do want to go to that. Does the glue have a bad odor? Well, let's see. I don't remember it having a bad.
That was one of the things they did talk about. That a lot of the new glues, just a little bit.
It smells like super glue, but a little bit less.
But a lot of the glues now are coming out with no smell. Coming next, no smell.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of the glues were telling us up there. So
let's see here. Simon is so cute. He'll go far. He is a very Simon comes into our videos a lot. So it is nice when you go to Creativation and people remember you. Like Jean Davenport, she's like, oh, there's my boys. Gina K gives us hugs. Simon saw us right away and was like, hey guys, and we thanked him. We said, thank you so much for coming into our videos and saying hi. And first of all, any guys in crafting I love just because I think it's something we need more of. But he constantly, people that remember us from year to year, not because we have a channel, not because we have a name, like Jane Davenport, she remembered everyone. Oh my gosh, come on over. And that's the same with Diane Reevely. She's the same way. Wonderful. So I think that makes such a good impression on people because it's like you feel so important, Make art stationery was one also. Memory keepers, I meant. Yep. Let's see. Creative World. Yes. You would be sick. I would be sick?
So who makes this?
Oh.
This was in...
Oh, the Rapid Fuse. I'm
Rapid
sorry.
Fuse.
This is done by DAP, D-A-P.
Oh.
They're the ones that also do like a lot of super glues. These ones are by Beacon, which I love Beacon.
Yeah, good.
Yes, we are looking at here's the deal, and I'll be honest with you guys. So I had every intention of going to the Michigan Mega Meet. For whatever reason, Silhouette decides to do their summit on the same weekend, which happens to be Mother's Day weekend. This year, we had decided not to go to the Silhouette Summit. And when we were at Creativation, I heard from multiple people, if there's any year you want to be at Silhouette Summit, this is the year. And so I flat out asked Silhouette, I was like, is there going to be a new machine release that I should capture? And they wouldn't answer it, and they just said, you should be there. So I'm not saying we're not going to make it. We just have to make a tough decision, because if they're releasing a new machine, that would be pretty big, because it's been almost 4 years, I think, since the Silhouette came out. So we just need to look at that. Yes, I would be sick, Melody, if you traveled all that once. I have found out this trip really opened my eyes to the fact that I am a people pleaser. So when I go places, leadership, Creativation, I always want to make sure that when I'm out and about, I'm talking to people and I'm having fun and I'm making people laugh, and I go. So we get up at 8:30, we go all the way until 10:30. And I think I just overdid it.
And then you're around everybody, and who knows who's sick.
And then of course Jessica was there, so it was just like, this year was hard because it was Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, which we had people over. 5 days later, we were at leadership. Jessica was here for 4 days. Then we were at Creativation. So when I got back from Creativation, I literally did not do much because I was crash and die. So good point. I would probably be sick.
We need to get going because we're almost out of battery power.
Okay. Will there be another in Woodstock? I would probably say no.
No.
I could be wrong. I don't want to speak. From what we heard, and this is all just rumor and gossip, we heard that the reason Creativation kind of had a different feel to it this year is a new company bought them out, and a lot of the people that were there will not have jobs in the new year. So, and I think a lot of that has to do with that in the making. That was a big, massive fail on their part, I think.
There was literally no marketing of it of any kind. Nobody really knew it was coming.
Yeah. So yeah, do you guys have, before we leave, I know we have a little bit more battery powder. Do you guys have any other questions? I have to say, will we go to next year's Creativation? I don't know. I think part of my problem, I love paper crafting. I will always love paper crafting. My world is consumed right now by this. Not just because I do it as a business. I genuinely love Chalk Couture. It is so easy. I love the results it gives you. I mean, look at this. This is just, it's stunning. It's just, and this, you would look at this and think, could you imagine doing this in vinyl?
Oh, good God, no. That would be tons
Could you
of
imagine? So it's hard for me because I get so, I don't want to say consumed, but I just love, you know, people have always told me, do what you love and it will come through, and I love it. So I left, I think, a little bit of me was like, I wanted to be wowed. I wanted a product that was just wow. And I know a lot of people said that was foil quill. For me, the foil quill is great, yes, but it wasn't a wow because foiling's been around. Yes, this will use your machine, but I wanted something that just kind of floored me. And I didn't have that.
No.
It was very sad.
It was sad.
It was sad. Wasn't it?
It was sad.
Sad. Let's see here. I would go if they did it again. Yeah. So anyways, we'll see. I did love Jane Davenport. I think for me, that was the one thing that I walked away saying, I didn't think I was going to fall in love, and I did. So I probably will be getting that entire product line. I went to Michael's, and they're sold out, which is very sad because it's half off right now. So I'm going to go look at what they do have, but I definitely want to do that. I do want to still do videos around paper crafting. I just need to find that thing that makes it for me. So it gives me that wow factor. So, all right. Anything else you guys have? What's your favorite markers? I have 4 types and they're all great. Oh, I almost forget. Thank you so much for bringing that up. The other booth I was really impressed by that we completely forgot was Spectrum Noir. Yeah. Actually, the Crafter's Companion. Spectrum Noir released this amazing marker. So, of course, you guys know the chameleon markers. You put the tip to tip, and then you can go from light to dark. Well, it's the same kind of idea, but what they did is they did a marker that has 3 identical or
So purple, red, they're all the.
so let's say it's three
dark, medium,
purples.
light.
You have like a light purple, a dark purple, and a medium purple, all in one pen. So you do your light purple, medium purple, dark purple. So it's all right there, which was
there you
genius.
go.
So there's like amazing. They also released these 3 pad sets that come together. So that way when you're doing your layered stamps, they're all perfectly coordinated. They had a water reactive ink to where you can stamp a background and put water on it and it makes it reactive. So Spectrum Noir is releasing some pretty amazing markers. They're all alcohol markers. I tend to be a water fan, so I still love my Zig Real Brush and my Arteza water brush. So I tend to gravitate towards that. But their booth was pretty spectacular. I was pretty excited. And it looks like, they didn't say it, but it looks like they're coming out with their own stamping tool. They had a stamping tool there in that booth. So you'll have to stay tuned on that one, but I did love that. Did you do a video on that Chocolate Couture pink flower? On this one, I did, but it won't be released until the new catalog's released. So in fact, we shot that today. I'll be editing it tomorrow and it will go up. So you'll have to stay tuned. It's very cool. So yeah, love the Spectrum Noir pens, absolutely. Would you be able to present Chocolate Couture there? Others would benefit. I think I would be able to do a class there for Chocolate Couture, but I wouldn't be able to have a booth for Chocolate Couture at Creativation. They allow us to go to like a stamp book expo or something like that, but Creativation is kind of more for companies to come and debut product and to sell it to retailers. That's the whole idea of Creativation, and we wouldn't be selling it to retailers. I am glad I have my voice back too. All right, guys, so I will be back tomorrow for a can from the cart. So you want to be checking for that sometime tomorrow. And then we will be back Thursday night to do a project. What else do you have? Anything you want to end on Creativation?
The weather was actually nice.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. It was 74, 75, sunny, literally every day. It was nice. Didn't get to go out much, but it was nice.
It was one of the first times we've ever had that.
Actual Arizona weather.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was impressive.
Makes me want
to go down there.
We missed you too, Cricket's Nature.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, definitely, I'm super excited. There's a couple of things from Nuvo that came out that I can't wait to show you. So once I start getting this product, I'll definitely be doing some demoing on it. When I get the new Thermal Web stuff, I'll show you guys. I can't wait to do some stuff with the foundations decor. When I get the scoring tool from the Caterpillar guys, that will be awesome. So I'm really, really excited about it. I wish there was, like I said, a little bit more to the show, but as always, it's fun. We had a good time.
Oh yeah.
Jessica was there, which was a lot of fun. Of course, it was just, I think every year since I'm getting to know more and more people, that's what took me away. That and the meetings, a lot of meetings with companies and stuff. Everyone wanted us to film in their booth. And we just couldn't. They kept saying, come do a live in our booth. And I was like, oh, we'll come back. And I felt bad, but it was just like there were certain booths we wanted to hit.
If we do go next year, I think what we should do is just go live and just walk. Just look at here, look at here, look at here, look at here. Just go down all the roads. Don't stop in any of the booths. Just go by them.
Well, that was the other thing we found out going live.
Truly see what you can see.
Yeah, and going live back to back, it messed up the notifications. Because I think YouTube's like saying, why are you going? There was times where we'd end a live and start a live and people wouldn't get their notification and stuff. So
and you could tell. Oof.
It is a lot of work to do all those videos. So, but you know what? It's awesome because I know a lot of you can't go there or don't have the opportunity to go there. So it's very fun for us to bring that to you.
You guys can live vicariously through us.
Yeah. So for us, that's my thing. I know that when I used to not go to Creativation, I would be like stalking YouTube for people to do their Creativation videos.
And it's funny. A lot of people just do pre-taped and then send it, not doing live, because the live quality is not truly the best there. Yeah. But I think that's why why you don't see anything until afterwards. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, definitely check down below. All the videos that we did at Creativation are down there. I also gave you the shopping links to all the stores so you can check them out. Please, please, please share our channel. We're trying to get to that 100,000 subscriber. I will have a contest launching tomorrow for the end of the month. And then other than that, we will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much. Have a good night, guys.
Take care.